Great fight back from 2-0 down. The lads really showed great spirit to get something out of this game in the end.
Yeah, it's real difficult because I thought it'd have been a travesty if we hadn't got anything out of it.
Yeah.
Started the game really, really well. I think it was the first attack. I think it was the first time they'd actually been anywhere near our goal. That the goal went in. It was awful after that for 10 minutes defensively. Looked really unsteady and shaky. Then we got the second one. And then we came back into the game, and like I say, second half, George has had nothing to do. It was all us second half. I thought we dominated the game for long periods of the time. I thought, like I say, it was just we had a real poor spell for 10 minutes and literally gave them 2 goals, which is unlike us. We've said before, we usually don't give a lot away. We usually are very solid, but we were disappointing for that. We had a very good start. Because we were knocking on the door. We had a couple of chances, and then, like I said, virtually the first attack, they got the goal. But like I say, we said at half time, go and show our character, go and show what we're about, go and get ourselves back in the game, and I think that's exactly what we did. I think even before we got the goal, which was a great finish from Heath, I thought even before we got the goal, we should have had another couple. We should have scored. We had 2 really good chances before then.
Yeah, sure.
But like I say, we'll have to take a point today.
Yeah. Do you think it was? Are you disappointed not to get the 3 given the chances we had?
Oh, massively.
And given the performance in the second half?
Oh, massively. We should have won the game. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Anybody who's watched that game today, we should have won the game.
Yeah.
Like I say, they've had a spell of about 10 minutes in the 2 goals. If you look at the timings of the goal, they've really had that 10-15 minutes, and then not a great deal.
No.
Not a great deal at all.
But I suppose we showed why we're serious contenders really for the playoffs, with the fact that 2-0 down, maybe conceded 2 bad goals, but we had it about us to come back, not get a point, and maybe, as you say, should have got the 3.
Yeah, so, I mean, you've got to show your mental toughness, haven't you? You can't dwell on these things, like we said to the boys at half time. You can't dwell on the mistakes we've made. You've got to put them to one side. You've got to try and change the outcome, and the players change the outcome again. In difficult circumstances. Darlington are a good team. Got some good attacking players. They've got some experience. They've got a mixture of some good players. So, we competed really, really well against the team that should be in them playoffs. Yeah. With the resources they've got.
Yeah. And it was great to see Yusuf Cisse, as you say, he scored a really excellent equaliser, but he was a threat throughout the game, really. Great to see Yusuf back on top form.
I think Yusuf, like I said last week, you've got to remember how long Yusuf was out for. Yeah. You've got to remember that he can't just come in after a long period and hit the ground running. He's not that sort of player. Yeah. He's an explosive player. He relies on a lot on his pace and definitely his timings, and he was never going to come. So we knew it was going to be a couple of games, and he's not playing fully fit. No. He's got 2 more yards in him.
Yeah, sure.
And he caused them so many problems today. But he's actually quicker than what you saw today because he's not fully fit. Yeah. We're having to manage, and he's having to manage his injury. But once again, he wants to get on the field. He could have left. He could have said no. It's not right. It's not. But he wants to get on the field. He wants to do well.
Right.
Along with Prezi, we managed to get Prezi strapped up and look how well the young man did again today.
Again, outstanding. Really, yeah.
But I thought, second half we really, really just showed what we're really about. Second half, absolutely. Defensively, like I say, they never got anything second half.
And we could have easily had another 2 or 3.
Like I say, the opportunities were there for us. We just couldn't manage to take it.
On injuries, you just talked about Yusuf and Danny Preston. Jordan Thewlis, of course, missing today. Any word for the supporters on when Jordan is likely to be back? How serious is Jordan's condition?
touch and go. It's a bruised foot. He's got a cut. He cut his boot. He went through his boot. It's a bruised foot, and they're funny things, aren't they? You know, it's settled down quite a bit. Will Tuesday come too soon? Not sure. We'll just have to see. It's one of them. We'll just have to see.
Yeah, and of course you mentioned Tuesday. It's another quick turnaround, another important game against a side who, for long periods of this season, have been in the playoff positions. Probably slipped out of it a little bit now, but it'll be a tough game against something of an unknown quantity in Banbury. We're new to this division.
What the Banbury, they're a very, very good footballing team. They're one of the best footballing teams. You know, a lot of teams in our league pretend to be a footballing team. They like to talk to themselves a lot about being a football team, and they don't play any more football than what we do. Yeah. But they like to give themselves that label because it helps them sleep a little bit better when they get beat. But Banbury are a real footballing side, so we've got to be at it. We've got to make sure that we play our game, and it'll be another good game. It'll be an interesting game.
Yeah. Would you be, at the end of the day, satisfied with 4 points from these two games today and Tuesday? Now, would you think that, at the end of the day, would be a good return for us in the circumstances?
It's a good. We've said if you can get 2 points a game, when it levels out on the averages, then you're going to be in and around the playoffs. If put it this way, if we get 2 points a game from now till the end of the season, we'll be more than comfortable in the playoffs. We talk about the playoffs. There's a long way to go. We've got a lot of games coming up. We're literally Saturday, Tuesday till the end of the season now. The squad looks better than it's probably ever been, even from the start of the season. It's still tight, but we've got a few options. But all we can do, chaps, is keep trying to push to where we want to be, and we said in the playoffs, if we can keep that going for as long as we can, then we keep that going. And again today, you know what a good set of players and a good set of characters we've got to get ourselves back into a game that, you know, a game that was proving difficult for our own making. But we've got ourselves back in the game, and like I say, anybody who watched the game today, we deserve to win the game.
And I think the players can take a lot out of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you very much.